Henaro,
Yes, Tunchai.
welcome to another episode of Tacos and Döner Tales.
In Germany.
Exactly.
Thank
So I
you.
will start with a question today.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's interesting. I want to also know if you ever experienced or if you ever heard stories like this. I mean, not stories, but
Mm-hmm.
let me first ask the question. Have you ever get fired here in Germany as a foreigner or as an expat?
Me personally, no, never. And also, fortunately, in the people that I know, or let's say my relatives and the people that are close to me, they have never lost their job, let's say in a bad way. If they lose their job,
Mhm.
let's say usually they quit and they decide to pursue new careers or new challenges in other companies. But like that actively the company says, okay, I do not want you to be here anymore, and they fire these people. I do not have any concrete examples here in Germany, but let me tell you about something interesting that I read in the news, and something that happened in Mexico. And let me just put a little bit of background
Just
here.
wait.
Yes.
So in Mexico, someone got fired as an expat.
Exactly.
Ooh,
Exactly.
okay.
That was,
Okay.
and actually it went also into the national news, just as
In national news.
in the national,
Holy crap.
in the national newspaper.
Okay.
Actually, that was also kind of weird that this news they got so much attention. But yes, let's say the title would be an expat or a foreigner, in this case a girl from the US, an American girl, lost her job.
Holy. Okay, you draw my attention now, please.
Yeah, lost her job. She was actually fired.
She was fired.
She was fired. And actually, this is a very polemical situation. Let me just put a bit of background. In Mexico City, there are a lot of there are a lot of movement in the street. You know, there's a city that never sleeps, like some other. There's always people going here, going there, selling. If you go outside, you find everything. But there are some cases where actually there are people that are carrying these big music boxes. Actually, they are kind of old music boxes from the 18th centuries. They were manufactured here in Europe, and then they have a lever, and then you have to turn this lever, and this music box, it produces music. It's you can hear to it, you can listen to it. It's a little bit old, but nevertheless, it's producing music. But for some people, it's kind of a bit of annoying, and some other people, you already got used to it. But it's part of the culture because you find it everywhere in Mexico City, and it's in all the places where there are a lot of people. City center, definitely, and some other touristical places, you see these people.
So it's really culture to see this kind of things.
Exactly. It's a cultural thing. If you grew up there, as I did, you find it completely normal, and then at one point, they don't annoy you anymore. They don't, and they have never annoyed me, to be honest. Actually, I like it. It's part of the city noise, and I'm saying noise not in a negative way.
But just one question. Are those music boxes for tourists or for just they exist and they represent the city?
Yeah, they are there. They are carried by people, and then just they, as I said, they are just pulling this lever. It's producing music, and there's another person that is also asking for money because they are producing a little bit of music.
Okay.
So as you pass by, you hear a little bit of music. So it's kind of this.
I asked this because in Europe it's mostly for the touristic purpose. You know, so there are people doing this, but mostly it's for touristic purpose. Okay, but coming back to your statement, and as I said, you find it everywhere. But then this woman, this girl from the United States, who was living in Mexico City, she posted something in Instagram where she was actually complaining about the noise that these music boxes that these people they were producing. Actually, she didn't say that out loudly, but she wrote in her post, okay, I will never give them money because they're only polluting. There's noise pollution, and they should go away. And that caused a lot of anger from the people in the internet. There were a lot of comments. There were a lot of attacks, at least comment-wise. They were saying, hey, that cannot be possible. If you come here, you must respect the culture. You cannot come here, be living here, and complain about the culture, the way of living that we have. And it was quite hard. It got viral. And at some moment, they found out who was her employer. She was a model.
There was an agency also in Mexico City, and this agency was also starting to be hit with all these comments. The agency was in so much pressure that at the end, the agency decided to fire this person, to fire this girl. And then the agency replied, okay, we didn't know, but we do not share the values. This kind of companies market communication, we do not share the values, and we have decided to terminate our contract with this model.
Wow,
and it was a little bit shocking, to be honest, because
it is shocking for me.
Because actually, I would say, okay, she was good at her job. Let's assume that, because she has been living there, or she was living there for already a couple of years, working as a model. So after some years, we would say, okay, you're good in what she's doing, but just for a tiny comment, well, I would not say tiny, but just for a comment that she posted without knowing the background, the society fired back, and then she lost her job. And the point is, because that's something that it really got my attention, just imagine if a similar situation happened here in Germany. How would it be the reaction?
I think she would never lose her job. Because here in Germany, we know that there are laws, like the first sentence of the law, you can say your idea, whoever you are, and I think there is an article like this. I think that's why in Germany it wouldn't be that big, it wouldn't sound that much, and then I think she wouldn't lose her job. I don't know. What do you think about it? Do you think would it be the same?
I think it has to do a little bit more of the people reaction. Let me just summarize it, okay? Just to summarize this, okay? In Mexico, this expat, this American girl, complained about the culture openly in her Instagram account. The society fired back. Okay, she got a lot of complaints, and she lost her job for that. Now here in Germany, if the same thing happens, just imagine if a foreigner, an expat, just starts to complain about something that is dear to the German culture. I do not know, something like Fasching, for example, which is also one of their holidays. They go how do they do a couple of things, which is nothing wrong, but this person starts to complain about that thing. And just imagine the reaction of the society. Of course, there will be some people who will react in a negative way, and some other, they will say they might agree. But nevertheless, I think that here in Germany, it will never come to that point where just by stating your opinion, let's say not in an offensive way, that you lose your job. That would be...
That's why I'm telling you, I think she wouldn't lose her job, but getting cancelled from the society, it would happen here in Germany as well. Because sometimes I go through on Instagram posts, Instagram reels, and there are a lot of Instagram reels from the expats, let's say they don't like the weather, they don't like the way, let's say, Germany is sticking in some topics. And then, lately it's a rise of right wings in Germany. I see a lot of comments. If you don't like it, you go, and then there are some even, okay, deport. So, of course, with saying all these statements, they don't get fired, but they get cancelled by the society already. If you look at the comments, I think that could happen, but I don't think that she could lose her job.
Yeah, I also agree on that. Nevertheless, I will always say, okay, yeah, even though you have, let's say, the right or the freedom to speak out your opinion, to say out loud what you think, okay, let's say that freedom, that right ends when the right of the other person or persons begin, the right to be respected. Yeah, and that's something that, at least with this news that it happened in Mexico, actually that happened at the beginning of March this year. The thing is, right now there's a little bit also, the Mexican society, at least in Mexico City, is a little bit, let's say, angry with the foreigners that are coming into the city, and they are taking, let's say, the best places to live, the best apartments, the best houses in the city center. And the local people, they have been forced to move a little bit further, or let's say to go outside of let's say to go to the suburbs of Mexico City, because it's a little bit cheaper, it's more affordable. And those kind of people, and which I can also understand, they're also angry at this kind of situation, which of course the government has done nothing to help or to try to find a solution. So they just left the people to their fate. And because of this anger, the reaction was a little bit harder than it should have been, to be honest. But nevertheless, also here, even though that, for example, you and I, we're doing this podcast and we're also making comments and we are telling a little bit about our experiences here in Germany, we never mean something in a negative way. We just, let's expose the case, we discuss it, because of course it's different. It doesn't mean that it's better or worse. We just expose it. We just try. We just communicate it. Sometimes we make a bit of jokes, and I think that the jokes are really well identified in this case. But of course, with the respect, I think it must be the base in any multicultural society. That
I fully agree.
Must.
I fully agree. I mean, we have to respect the values, the country that we are living in, because for you or for me, okay, it must not make sense, but for them it's a value, and then we have to respect the values, no matter what it is. That's why, we are joking here, but I think we never hurting the values of the country. I also really pay attention, not to criticize in that extent, but I think we have to respect the values first here, definitely, as an expat, because I mean, no matter what it is, we are outsider, and if there are some values coming from the history, we have to respect.
Yeah, definitely. I would say guests in the country, which actually Germany has been warm to receiving us. Thank you.
But really, I think as an expat, it must be really hard to lose her job. It's totally emotionally devastating and emotionally draining. Should be emotionally draining, because we have an expat WhatsApp groups among Turkish people. I think once I read that a girl comes as an expat. I think she comes as a senior. I'm not gonna say the name, but she comes as a senior. And then I think in the 3rd or 4th month, they fire her. Imagine you just came here, it's not even a year. And all the things, you have to settle down here, the language, the culture, you have to adapt. And on top, it comes that, okay, you're fired. It should be really, really depressing.
And tough. But okay, now that we're talking the fact, okay, to lose the job here, and then you also to have to face all the challenges that it comes with it. But I think it also depends on a very particular situation. I have a friend, which actually she was also invited to leave the company, because in this case the company figures, the company finances, they were not doing quite well. She was pregnant at the time.
That's a different story.
Exactly. But they were pushing her. They were telling, please leave. Okay, because of the law, they weren't able, let's say, just to cut her out of the payroll because she was pregnant. But after her, she got her child, and then after she came back, a couple of months after, she left the company. And that's what
Was she expat?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And that's also the thing that I am trying to say. Okay, just to understand a little bit of the background. What is the reason? Why did these people lose their job in this case? And I think here what we're trying to focus is if there's something that is a little bit, let's say, unfair. If company is doing well, and then just out of the blue, as this acquaintance of you, I say, okay, as a senior, she already came here, or he or she came here, you already make the investment, not only in terms of money, in time, effort to adjust, to get the apartment, to get everything running. Now you're settled, and then say, okay, sorry, we don't need you. That's for sure tough.
That must be tough.
And also, besides that, also go and you have to register in the job center and to get.
It's sad. But okay, if something like this happens, you can also go to the Agentur für die Arbeit. If something happens like this, you should look for help, etc. Lawyer. I fully recommend you to do that. But right now, let me change the topic to the good one. Right now, we are recording this podcast on a beautiful Eastern day. It's not that beautiful.
Well, maybe not as beautiful as I would like to have it, but definitely a nice day. It's at the end of holidays. Holidays, by definition, should always be nice. So yes.
Okay. Today the weather is really gray. but the temperature is okay.
Yes, indeed. Mm-hmm.
What beer would fit the best for this day?
Oh, right now for this day, I think I will have a pale. A pale. Yeah, it's not precisely German beer. It's kind of this British, Scandinavian beers.
Dark beers, you mean?
Dark beers, they are a little bit more bitter. You usually, personally speaking, for me, I only need one, and that's it. I don't need 2 or 3 like I do it with lager pills, for example, which is my favorite. With a pale, I just have one. It's a bit bitter. It's good. But that's it.
I was going to say the same thing. Like this dark beer, I would drink because it reminds me of this weather. Reminds me of a bit darkness, and then it kind of fits this dark beer. You know, the weather is dark, the beer is dark. Drink it, enjoy the day.
You enjoy it. It's a little bit bitter anyway because you do not know what is missing. But I like it. I like the way how you put it. But
coming back to the Eastern part.
Yes.
What does Eastern mean to you? Okay, I'm coming from completely different culture. We don't have Eastern at all. I think Eastern is a completely Christian thing. And you are also coming from a country in which people are a bit not conservative, right? I know, in Mexico, the religion is really important.
Right? Definitely. Yeah. I will change the word conservative to very religious country, very Catholic country.
So, can you please tell me your experience? How do you see Eastern? How did you see in your country, and how is it right now for you? You know what I mean?
Yes, definitely, and I think it's a very good and valid question because let me just put a little bit this in perspective. Eastern in Mexico is really a Catholic and a Christian holidays. Just as I mentioned a little bit before, exactly in Eastern, what happens we are celebrating the last days of Jesus Christ. With the Last Supper, then Jesus Christ, then he gets crucified. In this case, that's on Good Friday. Then he gets the resurrection is on Sunday. And usually when we're in Mexico, now a little bit less because of course times are changing and the new generations are not so involved, let's say, with the religion. It depends on the family, but let's say the involvement with the religion has decreased minimal a little bit in Mexico. But at least for us, everything has to do with the church, with the Catholic, with the Catholic religion. So also in the TV, you get on those days the movies, all the possible movies, from that time, with the Roman Empire invading Judea, in Jerusalem, Jesus Christ is there, then he dies, the crucifixion of Jesus, and everything that happens all around. You always see movies, and then there are also big representations in Mexico when actually people, they dress like Jesus, they dress like Roman soldiers, they go outside in the streets and they make these role plays, and millions, and when I say millions, it's really millions of people, they go outside and they watch it. They watch this theater, this representation. Theater. Yes. Yes, but it's on the street. And then, for example, when Jesus Christ walked with the cross on his shoulders, there are actually people that it's already organized with the government. They already closed some streets. And then they're going to simulate, when one guy is playing the role as Jesus Christ, carrying a real cross. Heavy, this guy has to be prepared. He trains. There are also some interviews, some reportages. It's also been hit, not with lashes, but with some ropes in order to simulate that part. And people are watching, and they're really in it. Poor. So for me, it's a very religion thing. Of course, in Mexico, we also take the time to go to the beach, to make some holiday with the family, and to lay down and to relax. That also happens. It's not everything religious, just to be clear. But now, when I come here to Germany, also as a Christian country, I will not say evangelists or Catholics or so, but nevertheless, a Christian in the Christian bubble. Let's put it like this. I don't see anything of that. So it's weird it's nothing happened. All the Germans and all the people here, they also look forward to Easter because there are gonna be some days off, which of course they're always loved. Some days off, perfect. Let's just have some holiday. Let's just fly somewhere here or drive somewhere there, or just do nothing, just relax. But I don't see any big connection with the religion anymore. Actually, what they do here is they celebrate with the Easter bunny. I don't know if you have heard it. Okay, in German is the Osternhase, the Easter bunny, which actually you have to hide the eggs. You have chocolate eggs, and you get eggs in color, and for children also, maybe also for some adults as well. And they are more focused on that. And what I have read and what I have asked to some German colleagues as well is that basically what they celebrate in Easter is the coming of the spring. Winter has finished, and now spring is, let's say, is the first days of spring. But religion is a little bit outside, and it's okay. But nevertheless, we celebrate the same days, but kind of the reason that is behind it is a little bit different.
I think to see that kind of theater in Mexico as a let's say if I go there, I would be really surprised, and I would know that okay, these days are really important for Mexico. I think that would ring a bell for me. I think these days are really important here.
Definitely.
But as you said, here in Germany, it's mostly people celebrate. Okay, it's holidays. These are holiday days. They don't really put something religious, meaning. But apart from that, also let me also tell you my point of view.
Yes, please.
In Turkey, we know this as an egg festival. Yeah, let's say
egg from egg.
Normal egg. Yeah,
okay.
Egg festival. I mean, I didn't know that. I knew that it's something religious, but I didn't really read, or I didn't really look for it before I come, or let's say when I was studying in Turkey. We always know this as an egg festival because each time if there's if Easter starts, in the news we see okay, egg festival started in the Europe, in the Christian world. We always see these people, there's a spoon on your mouth, and then there's an egg here, and then people people run,
okay, yeah,
and then they compete. If the egg falls down, you lose. If you make it, then you win it. I always remember Easter in this way. And also in the newspapers, we see this kind of things. And then also bands, they walk around with the drums and then celebrating the Easter. I was expecting this kind of things when I come to Germany.
Yeah, just one thing. So you see, that was let's say, the image or the picture that you had when you were in Turkey before coming here.
Exactly.
That's what you see in Turkey, this kind of things.
I thought Easter is very important here in Germany, or let's say in a Christian country. All these things, egg run, whatever, also these bands are walking with drums, etc. When I came here in Germany, I didn't see any of them, really. Where is this egg run? Where is this? Okay, I see form of egg chocolates in the supermarkets, that there are a lot. Also bunny chocolates. And I know that, okay, Easter is coming. Yeah, and where are all these things that I used to see in the newspaper, in the news back in Turkey? Maybe it was different countries. I don't know.
It could be, but also, to be fair, sometimes what we see in the television or what we see in the media are usually some like standard stereotypes of some other country that is not ours. And I also see some here stereotypes of my country, which actually they do not fit in it, but that's the stereotype that we have. So it's okay. Yeah, you just accept it. And maybe that's the thing that is shown in Turkey, and say, okay, in order to explain this festival, these holidays. I have had some Turkish colleagues in the past, in my previous jobs. And when we are coming close to Easter, and sometimes it's a little bit weird because all the people were saying, okay, happy Easter, enjoy the holidays. And then say that we don't have any holidays. For us, it's nothing. Yeah, which they are quite respectful, say, Yeah, for us, there's no holiday. We're gonna work normal, enjoy your holidays, and they say, okay, happy Easter to you too. Nah? They reply in a very polite way, but with some other colleagues, which I have had a little bit more closure. They have said no, but we don't celebrate it. It's actually it does not happen. So that's when you start to think, okay, this Eastern is not worldwide. It's just just focused in some countries. Let's say in the Christian countries.
It's a Christian thing. Yeah, that's for sure.
Definitely.
That's for sure. But I like the Eastern vibe here in Germany. Okay, it's not celebrated fully, but still I like the vibe. You know, in some companies they also give you chocolate, bunny. Yeah, you just go to your place, you just go to your desk, you can see a bunny, chocolate bunny, and says Happy Easter. I know that I don't celebrate, but I love it. You know, someone thinks about me, gives me a present, Happy Easter. This is amazing.
That's nice.
Also, you see happy children around because they get their Eastern chocolate eggs. Yeah, also Eastern bunnies. You see happiness around. That's why from this perspective, I love Eastern here in Germany. And also, days are quite chill. Everywhere is closed. And you can go holiday if you want because it's mostly like very extended weekend, 4 days, but you can take another 2 days off and then you can just go to, let's say, hot countries in Europe, warm countries in Europe. That's why from this perspective, I feel really happy during the Easter.
And I think that's good to hear. I think that's the point. Yeah, to enjoy the holidays. At the end, holidays are loved by everybody. But let's say the reason why we celebrate it, the main reason is a little bit different for each one of us. And just one thing, as I remember, when I was a child in Mexico, how I used to celebrate Easter. Just for you to know, just very quickly, Thursday I had to go to the church, not to one church, but to 7 churches to simulate. When Jesus was arrested, he visited 7 houses in order before he went to trial. And then what we were trying to simulate is to visit these 7 houses. So we were visiting 7 different churches with my family. Just imagine, drive to one, you hear the service, drive to other one, a little bit of service. Of course, not 7 hours. You do that usually in 3 hours. But nevertheless, for a kid, it was too much, at least for me, as I remember. And also on this period of time, we were supposed to be fasting. We didn't fast, as you know, but let's say in this case, we didn't eat meat, or let's avoid eat something that you really like. Yeah, at least for us, for Mexicans, on that time, for my family, we didn't eat meat.
So you didn't eat tacos?
Yeah.
No.
It was hard. 3-4 days without it, it was tough. For a kid, how do you explain that to a kid? Nah, joking. But that's how it was for me, Eastern, at those times. And go on, then be at home, be at the couch with my family, and watch the movies that I'm telling you about Jesus or so. So that's the image that I have of Eastern. So when I go outside, when I go to another country, in this case Germany, say, oh, okay, where is this thing? It's not there.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But Tunja, the thing is that I'm happy that you right now that you're enjoying the Eastern time, now that you're in Germany. But I guess in Turkey, you work. There's no holidays, even though it's Eastern. Is the egg day or the egg holidays?
No. We just know that it's Eastern in Christian countries. We know that they enjoy all this kind of news. With the egg run.
I have never seen that. Never seen that.
There must be a culture in some other countries. I'm gonna look for it after that. Yeah. After the podcast, I have to look for it because, man, I saw that on news.
Yes, you see that, but you see that in parties. It's kind of beer pong, let's say, and then you're in a party with some friends, family. Let's do some games, and one of the games is just to have the spoon. You have the egg, and then you have to run to the other side of the jar.
But doesn't it happen during the Eastern?
No, not necessarily. I have played that game, but not in Eastern.
Oh man, I have to check out this one.
You just go in a party, okay, it's like, okay, I don't know, playing with balloons or playing something with, I don't know, you have the chairs in the middle, they play music, and then when the music is over,
what I expected.
you have to...
Really? During the Eastern, I expected to see this kind of games.
That's interesting.
That was my imagination, or that was my perception.
To be honest, that shocks me more than my shock that I had here in Germany. That's the image that we have, at least in Turkey, or not we, that actually...
Or maybe it was just my imagination, you know. It could be also. Yeah,
but it didn't create out of the blue. You saw that in the TV, you saw that in the news, and for sure you comment with a couple of friends. There's gonna come these egg holidays.
Maybe many people also in Turkey think in this way.
Definitely, for sure. Just the last part from my side. That's actually the most interesting thing.
Mm-hmm.
How you see exactly the same event from a different perspective if you're in another country. These stereotypes, they change a lot.
Yeah, they change a lot.
And most of them, they are not accurate. But nevertheless, we have them. Interesting.
And it's good to have them. I like to have them.
Yeah, and then you have good surprises. Like
and then you have topics to discuss, and you have things to learn from other cultures.
Definitely.
But yeah, it was a lovely conversation today. Again, I love it. I think we are getting better each time.
Definitely.
Our conversations are giving more values to expats that they come here or they are coming to Germany. And before closing the podcast, do you have anything to add?
Not for the moment. The only thing is that I learned something from Turkey today. Thank you.
I also learned something from Mexico today, and I'm happy to learn.
Yeah, very good. Tunchai.
Genaro?
Then see you next time.
See you next time.